Good morning from Lombok, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from HeartHealthBrainHealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful action. Today, I wanted to talk again about something that I've spoken about a few times in different videos, and I think it's about time to bring up another video about listening and hearing. And I wanted to make sure that you know that this is actually stemming from this wonderful visit I had to a school here in Lombok, and thank you students, teachers, and staff that helped me while I visited on Wednesday, and you know who you are. But I want to make sure that we all learn together what we may have learned, at least I tried to share, while I was visiting. And it was about the art of listening, and listening and respect actually go hand in hand too. And many people feel that they are listening. Many will say, oh, but I didn't hear. And yet, are we listening and are we hearing? And I thought it's a good time to actually talk about what this means. I'll tell you that my experience at this school on Wednesday, I know that I was asked a few questions just because I was a visitor, and it was so pleasant, kind, and so loving. Thank you again, all of the students and staff there, because I really did feel your love, and I hope you felt the love from me too. And of course, I want to talk about listening and hearing, because here in Lombok, lots of people are trying to understand English for lots of visitors that come into Lombok or into Indonesia, and lots of students and adults, well, students, whatever age, are also trying to improve their English. So there is good communication attempts with trying to understand English. And then communication is really about hearing and listening as much as speaking. So I thought I'd start today's video with this quotation. It says, "The most basic of all human needs is the need to understand and be understood. The best way to understand people is to listen to them." Such a simple quotation, isn't it? But it says so much. So we all have this need to understand. When someone is speaking to me, I'd like to understand. And in fact, if I don't understand, I don't feel so comfortable. I have this need to understand. And then when I speak, I need to be understood, and when I see that someone is understanding me, that need is satisfied. For you, it's the same. When you are speaking, you want to be understood. When someone is speaking to you, they want to be understood. And this is again what happened in the school and happens everywhere for us. The need to understand and be understood. And the best way to understand people is to listen to them. Now again, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that there is this focus and hope and intention about understanding English, and very important. Yet it is not communication. One example I say to people regularly here is, you can learn all of the English possible and then suddenly get a job in a different country like Spain or France, and it's a completely different language, and you've done all this education in English, which is useful throughout the world, yet the whole purpose of education is to train our minds to be able to learn, to hear, to listen, and to be flexible in our learning. I remember I was mentioning to an instructor that oftentimes a student who is not passing an English exam, whether in Canada or here, by the way, will think, I'm not so good in English. But they're only not so good in what is being tested. So a lot of times, students know something beyond what is being tested. It's not on the exam, and so they fail the exam. And then the understanding from that is, excuse my cough, so I'm still recuperating, is, have I understood? Now, understanding that I haven't understood what is being tested is different than I haven't understood English. So this is really important for us to understand. The next quotation I wanted to make sure I share with you today is by the Dalai Lama, And it says, when you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. And the example I wanted to use in this video is, again, when people are teaching anything. But let's speak about English since I've mentioned that. So many students asked me, where are you from? Now this is something that is being asked to understand conversational English. We can understand this would be a regular and normal question that people could ask foreigners to this country. And I'm asking it because I've been taught, well, you could ask, where are they from? And so they memorize this. And we ask. And then when the mind is thinking, do I know what I would ask next? I might not listen to the answer. I'm asking the question, where are you from? And I'm not listening because I'm already thinking about the next question to ask. And this I saw very clearly because the number of people that asked me, number of students, even staff, even teachers that asked me, where are you from? Again and again, is all because of that same reason, that we are asking something that we've memorized, we've learned somewhere, this is a good question to ask, and I know what it means too, but I'm not listening to the response. And so I want to make sure that we know that we all do this, every age, everything of learning, where I feel like I've heard something before that even when I'm asking about it, I'm not really listening to the response. So very important for us to pay attention to, are we listening? And then finally, I thought I'd finish with this quotation because a lot of people confuse listening and hearing. And I thought I would share this quotation to end this video with. This says, hearing is listening to what is said. Hearing is listening to what is said. Listening is hearing what isn't said. Listening is hearing what isn't said. So an example that I found is teachers, and I believe this happens again in the whole world, but I had this wonderful experience in the school I was in recently that's just very fresh in my mind, so I'm sharing this. Sometimes if I have a favorite student, whether I have a conscious or unconscious bias about that student, whether they're related to me, or I feel sorry for them today, or I feel they don't actually get the confidence to speak, so I'm going to help them, often that student is heard a little bit more because of my own biases. As an instructor, as a parent, as a friend, I listen to that person more. And that is not fair, as we know, because if we're listening to the needs of all. And when we're hearing, it's listening to what is said. Listening is hearing what isn't said. What isn't said is sometimes the quietest student is actually having the best questions. And that listening is just to pay attention to, wow, I see that this student's eyes are lit up. They're leaning forward. This is all presence. It's really paying attention. It might be trying to understand English, or it might be that they're noticing body language of the person that's speaking to them. It might be they look disinterested because they've got a worry in their mind that even though they want to listen to what is being said, our listening as the person speaking or the person that's the friend sitting beside is hearing what isn't said. What isn't said is often much deeper, much more profound, and it requires our presence. I'm listening to what isn't said too. What isn't said could be a fear, a worry, a grief, a sadness, or an excitement. And when we're hearing that, it's so much better for communication than language, which is repeating things that we've heard and practicing things that we've heard. It's not from that listening space, which is much deeper. Today, I look forward to you practicing listening and hearing with these quotations as reminders for you. I look forward also for the next video to talk about respect, which I am also sharing. with this school, as well as every other school, every other person that's listening to these videos. Excuse me. Remember that respect is also something that we all talk about a lot. We all say that this is really important. We're listening, we're hearing, but are we acting from these things? Or some are listening, I'll say, some are hearing, and are we acting from what we understand from this? That will be the next video. Today, I'd love for you to focus on listening and hearing, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day night, everyone. Take care, and I hope anyone who's also got a cough from changing weather or anything else, I hope you heal today in every way possible. Have a great day or night.